yes, will that selfish why be motivating? Sure, but it's like, I think it's just still very constraining and limiting, and it's like you maybe have to like try a little harder in a way. Like, it's really interesting. But I think, I would say, and this maybe would be a really interesting subject, but like the best whys, obviously that's the point of the whys, they're all different for people, which I think should be looked at with consideration. But I mean, to me, it just seems like the more altruistic a why is, like, the better. Because, like, for me, like, if someone's looking for purpose, like, you always find that outside of yourself. Like, it's like a piece of a puzzle, okay? If you have, like, that piece, it doesn't matter on its own. It only matters in the context of the ones it's connected to. It's like a body part. If you talk about your bicep, if you put a bicep on the table, it doesn't do anything. It can't even consume nutrients because it doesn't have a blood supply coming in, doesn't have the brain telling it to do anything. It's isolated. But when it's attached to the humerus, or the shoulder or the forearm, like when it's in its place, when it has the nerve supply, when it has the blood supply, the nutrients, the waste management system, it has a purpose. And it's like we find our purpose. We're getting into it. We're getting into it.
This is what it's all about.
It's like
you want to have a little life enhancer of like.
This is a life enhancer. This is good.
Of analyzing what you're doing throughout your day to make sure you're staying on the path you want to go and follow your why. Like this, conversations like this, man. Keep going, man. I didn't even know.
So it's like, let's say you have like A, B, and C abilities, passions, values, like what makes you unique, what people would remember you for, like those deep things about you. Maybe it's your laugh, maybe it's your intellect, maybe it's your ability to think outside the box, maybe it's your ability to be loyal, like those deep qualifying components of you. Like it doesn't end with you. It's not like you're that puzzle piece on itself. It's like, well, where does that fit into your family? Where does that fit into like the way you're gonna live your life? Because guys, we're all in this life and we're all making ripples. No one is in this life just like right there. And a lot of times we think we're maybe not affecting other people, or maybe we're trying to make an impact and we don't think we are, like, but we are. And that's like I think that's one biggest mistake, like when people get depressed or like lonely or, suicidal thoughts, like that whole spectrum of thinking that people get into, which I think is very common. It's because like we forget that we are connected regardless, just like the bicep, like it's connected in with the whole body and it affects things. And like, I think when we forget, or if we don't realize that we do have an effect on other people, then like we're gonna fight more, we're gonna be mean more, we're gonna be selfish more, we're gonna be depressed more, like all those other negative things that tie to it. Absolutely. So that's something that
we're all interconnected. Like you just said, like depressed individuals, like if they shun themselves away from any social situation, they're still having an effect on the people around them because they're not engaging in a manner that could provide value. It could just provide interaction that who knows where it could lead. It could
someone could be offended that they don't want to come to their party, and then like they take it the wrong way. Like there's so many things with that, And
I mean, you can analyze any aspect. Even the people that are in prison, solitary confinement, they're still having an effect on people. That'd be the prison guards and such. Like
that's true. They are,
Literally, we all have an impact.
Or they're, I think, like at the least, maybe they have no family outside of prison. Using that example, at the least, they're missing opportunities where they could have an opportunity.
Too.
And you could take that both ways. Like, well, that's why they're in prison, is that opportunity for them to have a negative impact has been taken away. But they're also missing the opportunity to have a positive impact.
You want to know something crazy related back to prisons, or a prisoner in a prison or solitary confinement? You look at the aspect of it, we're talking about depression. Like what a lot of times gets people depressed in a sense. Like, well, the more security you have, the more sense of you're not challenging yourself, that ultimately leads to not really feeling that great about yourself and confidence. And so you look at the most secure place on earth, solitary confinement. You are extremely secure there as far as, you're gonna get a meal, you're in a safe place, you have housing basically. Obviously it's the terrible quality of life.
Right.
But you look at that from an aspect of how secure it is, and you look at their mind frame, their quality of life is absolutely horrible.
Interesting.
Aspect. So again, it all now relates to like, you don't want you want to a certain degree security, but at the same time, you don't want to have that much security to the point where you're not pushing yourself off the edge every single time to really grow.
Well, I think that's where, what's it called? I'll remember here in a second. But like in our Western lifestyle, it's like we literally have kind of like everything we want. Like, okay, let's look at, you know, Alex and I, like we're in the fitness industry. Like, does that industry make as much money as other industries? No. But like, do we have more money than, neither of us have cars, right? But we do have a roof over our head. We do have access to running water. Like, we're kind of rich in the context of like,
that by definition probably puts us in the 1% of the world.
Yeah, like comparatively speaking, it's like here we maybe don't have as much as the Joneses, but well, it's like, okay, by the same token, like so and so in another country or even in America, like doesn't have what we have, and I think that's something where we get so accustomed to like conveniences or having things at our disposal, we get impatient, and then like if those little circumstances change, we're not okay, and it affects us on the inside, even though it's actually on the outside. It's external circumstances, and that's like how you're talking about. Like you can have all the security in the world, like you can have the right paychecks, you can have medicine, like all that stuff, and it almost like those things are great. Like they're great. Like I love that I don't have to walk really, really far to go get water. Like that's like kind of like the most convenient thing ever, and you know, I would hate to live a life where I'm not thankful for that. And yet, like we don't have a car. Like, I remember Alex borrowed my bicycle, and like it was like within a couple days, he was like I think you were Snapchatting me, like, I love this thing. And it like literally like, changed parts of his life, and like they were just more convenient. He was like, I'm getting around so much faster. And
goes back to like, you know, you're able to have those moments where you have to understand the appreciation.
Appreciation, man.
Once you've been there before, as far as like,
and I think
you go a long period without having a car, and once you have a car again,
right,
you'll be like, oh, it's not. But then it'll probably come a point where you're like, God, dude, all this traffic, it sucks.
Yeah, and then you're like forgetting about like the time that you didn't have it, like the humble time.
Yeah, it's hard because there's just so much out there in the environment we live in with external stimulus to distract us or allow us for us to forget or stray away from like what we're intending to go with, like this sense of appreciation and gratefulness.
Yeah.
But again, you see other people and they don't act the same way, so you just interpret it as like, all right, now I gotta play along to how everybody else is inside the box, essentially. In that sense. So,
and just to connect the dots, I think, you know, and the word I was looking for was entitlement. There is a whiteboard. Entitlement. You know, it's like we have these things, and it's one thing to like have them at our convenience, but I think we become entitled, meaning we think we should have them at all times. That's when we lose that appreciation for having them. It's like, okay, let's say you like Alex has a bike now, and like you might not feel as energized as like having it as when you did the first day. Alex is a super positive, thankful guy, so I know he's really thankful, but I think most people that don't make it a point to be like really thankful and appreciative
that's
will
probably
lose that.
Dude, you're so right, like exactly, that's a key habit to practice on a daily basis, just to kind of reaffirm and not get clouded by people out there that would get off the path or the train tracks or the highway or whatever you want to call it, tying to just being grateful for what you have and knowing where you came from to where you are now.
Yeah, and I think that's like huge, because then when you don't have it, you're not circumstance controlled. It's like, oh, I don't have my bike because it broke, but like you're not gonna let that stop you, because it's like, well, I'm just really glad for those days I did have the bike, you know? Like right now I don't have a car, and it's like I don't complain every day about not having a car. Like there's benefits to not having a car, you know? Like there's cons for sure, but it's like,
I got a perfect one for you, because you Snapchatted me on Friday, and it was you on the train. I don't remember what you said, but you were just in a very positive mood. When you got out of the train, when you got out of the train, at one point, I don't know what part you might have done a Snapchat where you're walking to the gym or whatever. Hey, look at this shadow or whatever. I'm chasing I don't know if you said chasing my shadow.
I don't know what I said.
I can't remember. But then you were walking and it was really sunny in the morning, and you're just like, hey man, you Snapchat me saying like, hey man, let's be the people we need to be for other people, kind of thing. And that would, in a lot of ways, that probably wouldn't have been created if you were driving sometimes. Based off of we have an interaction driving wise, say, oh, we got Mr. Daniel back. Oh, he's peacing out.
We gotta go.
4 minutes. Oh, okay.
Okay. We have to go for the car. We have to get the car out here.
Yeah.
So I guess this is our stopping point. Man, that was good.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's all I have to do, man. Alright. We're gonna do another one here sometime where we're gonna communicate our vision, because that vision is what we always pertain every situation, every day-to-day activity based off of.
Yeah.
Really, at least for me, like the more I continue to think about that, the more I want to ask people, and I ask people all the time. It's something I don't ever expect everybody to know right off the bat, because why would they? Because they come from different backgrounds, different environments, different perspectives and such. But again, I just always like to plant the seed. It's like yesterday, or earlier this morning when I did a podcast with 3 other people. One of the gals I asked the question, so what do you want to do before you die? And she really couldn't come up with an answer for the most part. And then I was just asking her, like, well, has anybody really ever asked you that in a very serious, genuine manner where you could actually think about it and then respond back? And she really didn't seem like she really got asked that question. And even if you don't know the answer, it's still just getting you to think about it, because that's just gonna lead you down a whole rabbit hole of starting to think about things that you might not otherwise think about, because again, a lot of us are in that box.
Yeah.
Anyways,
dude, getting out of the box.
Quick shout out. Thank you very much, Jesse, for filming with the tripod. Much love, as always. Quick impromptu podcast. Peace, love, unity, respect, and as always, passion and coffee.
That's right.
Let's go. Catch you later.